Hello and welcome to this video. And in this video, we are going to learn about the oldest technique which was used to achieve the string interpolation or variable substitution that we have been learning about in this section. It is the oldest technique. I'm going to warn you, it looks ugly, but it is not impossible to understand. So you need to put in a little extra effort and you will understand what I mean. Now, after watching this video, I advise you to stay away from using this technique. However, it is good that you know about it so that you can work in older code bases. For example, what if you join a team and for some reason they have not migrated to Python 3 yet, and so you still have to use this old formatting approach. So I'm going to use an example like always, and I have created a file called oldformatting.py in which we are going to write our code. I'm going to start off with these variables already declared. The first one is a Nikki, so it stores a nickname, and the next one is a reward. So let's say we want to generate a message that Nikki, this is your reward, okay? Or Nikki, you are rewarded with blah 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 oranges, okay? Let's say they work and we pay them in a certain number of oranges, right? Okay, so I'm going to say message is equal to, you bring your quote as usual, and then you bring the percentage and the s. Hold on, I'm going to explain to you what's going on here. And then I will say your or you are rewarded with, and then I bring percentage s again, oranges. And then outside the quoted string, I bring the percentage sign again, and then you bring what is known as a tuple. We haven't learned about it yet, and we will see it very soon. Inside a tuple, the tuple is just the brackets, open bracket, close, and then you put your values in there separated by commas. Then I'll say Nikki, and I'll say reward. Then I can go ahead and print message. So I'm going to run this program. It is called oldformatting.py. So I'll say Python 3 oldformatting.py, and it says Moon Tiger, you are rewarded with 10 oranges. So now that you have seen the output, let's take time to understand what is actually going on. Well, you are now familiar with the concept of placeholders, and you saw that in both the f strings and the str format approach, we use the curly bracket to denote placeholders. The approaches were different, but that was still the characters that we used to denote the placeholders. For the old style formatting, we don't use the curly brackets. We use these special formatters, and they start with the percentage. The commonest formatter, which is almost going to work for you 99.99% of the time, is percentage s. And this is going to force Python to convert whatever value you substitute in there into a string, and then it's going to print it out for you. Very soon I'm going to show you all the different formatters that you can use. So what is happening here is there's this formatter is a placeholder. So percentage s means there is going to be some string, and then you are rewarded with percentage s. It means there is going to be another string, and then oranges. And then the way you provide the values to be substituted is to bring the percentage character and then followed by the tuple, and inside a tuple you write the variables that are supposed to be substituted in the order in which they are supposed to be substituted. Okay, so percentage s means string, percentage s means string. But come to think of it, reward here is an integer, it is not a string. Nikki, of course, is a string because Moon Tiger is in quotes, but reward is an int because it is a positive whole number, and like we learned, the int data type helps us to store positive and negative whole numbers. So reward here is an int. So how come we are using percentage s here and we are able to substitute a variable that is an int? Well, because of the percentage s here, Python is going to convert this 10 into a string before it does the during the process of the substitution. So this is how to do it. I'm going to go to a page and then I'll show you the different formatters that you can use. So you can use %d if you want to show something in decimal. So of course we could have used %d here, okay, because reward is an integer, and indeed when we run this program we don't expect it to fail because we are doing the right thing. So you can see that it says Moon Tiger, you are rewarded with %oranges, okay, and then the %d, so it replaces that with 10 because 10 is an integer and you use the %d whenever you want to substitute an integer. But like I told you, if you do not know which formatter or specifier to use there, you are going to get it right, let's say 99.99% of the time when you use the %s, because Python is going to convert whatever value, as long as the conversion is possible, to convert whatever value into a string and use it as part of the variable substitution process. So we have the O for if you want to show something in octal, and the S for if you want to show something in hexadecimal. So if I wanted to print, instead of 10, I wanted to print the hexadecimal equivalent of 10. Hexadecimal is another numbering system which is base 16. Then I could do %x. So let's run this program and see what output. It says, Moon Tiger, you are rewarded with 8 oranges. What a shock. Well, it is not shocking. The number 10 is represented as A in the hexadecimal numbering system. That is why we are seeing that over there. So I'm going to go back to the %d. You can also stick to %s, and then you will get the string version of the number that is stored in your numeric data type variable. Okay, so what if we wanted to make this look nicer with all these %s, blah blah blah? Because remember, over here the order in which you pass the values into the tuple also matters. So what if we want to make it cleaner, look something similar to how we did the named parameters in the named placeholders in the str format approach, or even in the fstrings approach? Well, it turns out we can also do that, but we have to use these, and then you can put the names in here. So I can say n here, and then I can also bring this here, and then I will say R for rewards. And in that case, when you are passing the values for substitution, you don't use a tuple, you use what is known as a mapping. Technically it is called a dictionary, but we haven't learned about dictionaries yet, so I'm going to call it a mapping. So what's going to happen is, instead of this, I will do this is a curly bracket, and then I bring in the name, which is N, and I want to substitute Nikki for that, and then over here R, and I want to substitute reward for that. So I'm going to save this and let's run this program, and hopefully everything should work as expected. And so you can see that it says, Moon Tiger, you are rewarded with 10 oranges. So rather than just use the placeholders or the format specifiers, whether %s, %d, %x, or any of the characters that are listed on this page. And by the way, if you Google old string formatting, it will take you to this Python documentation page where you can see all the different specifiers that you can use. So we made it look nicer, I mean, compared to what we learned in the str format and the fstrings approach. I agree with you totally that this is ugly, but like I said, you need to understand it so that you'll be able to work in older code bases. So I don't want you to treat this as an unimportant video. You need to know about it, and you need to understand it. So I hope you've understood it, and thank you very much for watching this. Let's take a quick pause and then we'll start a new section.